All right, everybody, welcome back. Today we've got single digit temperatures outside. Wind chills are in the negative teens. It's snowing. It's going to be snow flurries all day. And so I thought this would be a really good opportunity to answer the question, how well does a crossbow perform when it's essentially frozen? Stay tuned. All right, everybody, here's what I got for you. First, I want to say I apologize for my voice. I'm getting over a cold, so it's a little bit froggy. But what I want to do with this test is I want to see, do composite rail crossbows have accuracy issues in cold weather? Because I have heard this a lot. I've heard it on forums or Facebook groups, other videos, that people with fully composite crossbows struggle with accuracy when the weather is cold. And I've got cold weather. Really cold weather. They're claiming it's the coldest wind chills we've had in Michigan or Southwest Michigan in like 5 or 6 years. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's really cold outside. Highs are single digits, lows are negative, wind chills are like negative 15 to negative 20 something. And I've got a composite rail crossbow. This is my Killer Instinct Vital X 405 fully composite bow. So let's put it to the test. And I think this should be a worst case scenario test because all day hunts, those are a real thing. So let's simulate an all day hunt in negative 20 wind chill. I don't know how you would do this hunt without an enclosed blind, maybe a Mr. Buddy heater, but for the sake of testing, let's try to make this as worst case as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this crossbow cocked, we're going to have an arrow loaded in it just like we are hunting, and we're going to let it sit out all day long in this weather. Now, I will say as kind of a disclaimer, this is meant to be worst case. This is meant to be an abuse test. Please make sure whatever crossbow it is that you have, that you're following your manufacturer's recommendations. If they have operating temperatures, make sure you're following those. If they've got, how long you should have your crossbow cocked for, make sure you're following those. I'm okay doing an abuse test on my crossbow. That doesn't necessarily mean you guys should too. But let's simulate this in the worst case environment that I can possibly give you. First thing we need to do though is we need to shoot this at room temperature. So my house is 68 degrees. We need to shoot it with a Killer Instinct Hyper Arrow. That's what we're going to be using, and just see how well it shoots nice and warm as it normally would be at 30 yards. All right, there you go. So as you can see, we're all good at 30 yards. So bright and early the next morning, right at 7 a.m., I went ahead and set this up. All right, we got the bow all set up. It's right about 7 o'clock. So we do have it. We want this to be like a complete simulated hunting, situation with this cold weather. So as you guys can see, it's just starting to get light out. It's right about 7. We got the bow cocked. We've got an arrow loaded in it. This is the same arrow that we did our test shot with yesterday with the bow at room temperature. So we're gonna be able to compare and see, how it does, if it changes, if flight or anything like that changes. And so we're gonna let it sit out basically all day. We are gonna have it pointed just down a little bit toward the ground, but down range here. So, I mean, my backyard, I've got a quarter mile of swamp and stuff behind that, so we're totally safe. So now it's just gonna chill for the next about 10 hours, and we'll kind of keep an eye on it. I've got it here actually right by the Ring camera, so we can kind of tap in and check on it, and I'll take pictures too along the way just so you guys can actually see that we did leave the bow out for a full 10 hours. All right, you guys, I just want to reiterate that having the bow set up in a simulated hunting scenario in my backyard is completely safe. So we've got it angled towards the ground. We've got it angled right at my lawn back there in my backyard. And we own over 20 acres of woods and swamp back behind my house that stretches for a quarter mile. And there's even more woods and swamp beyond that. So having this simulated hunting setup in my backyard is completely safe. All right, here's a quick 4-hour check-in. Everything looks fine. Definitely getting some snow accumulation on the rail, on the bow, all over the place, like you would expect if you were out hunting in these conditions. But all in all, no areas of concern. I did too, just to I guess prove that the crossbow in theory should be quote unquote frozen. I set a cup of water out when we put the bow out, and this thing is rock solid now. All right, 7 hours down, 3 more to go. A little more snow and stuff on it, but still everything looks the way it should. Got a little bit of snow back here in the trigger box and stuff. We'll see if that matters. But all in all, still looks fine. All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock. Even though we still got a little bit of daylight left, I want to make sure we film this with enough daylight to capture everything. But it's 5 o'clock. It's been 10 hours that the Crossbow's been out here. It's warmed up to a balmy 8 degrees with a -9 wind chill. So let's check this thing out and see how it shoots. All right, so everything still looks good, you guys. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Obviously still got some snow on the rail. A little bit of snow back here by the safety and in the trigger box mechanism, a little snow on the brush, but all in all, it looks to be just fine. All right, so I'm gonna take the target right out there again to 30 yards. We're gonna take the exact same shot using the exact same arrow. Got the crossbow pointed straight down at the ground, opposite way from what I'm gonna be walking, so we're safe. Then we'll get everything set up to take the shot. This weather sucks, you guys. I like snow and snow sports, but this negative wind chill stuff, not a fan. All right, guys, really quick, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna make sure the arrow isn't froze to the rail. And it's not. We're all good there. But we're gonna leave all the snow, everything, all that other stuff on it. See if the safety still's good. Safety's fine. Let's see how we do. We even got a little tag on my target hanging right over the bullseye. Well, we hit it. Let's see how we did. Not gonna lie, my hands are freezing, you guys. My hands are really cold. So I touched that off kind of quick. Hey, not bad. So check that out. So before, we were just a little low, and this could have been me too. We center punched that tag. Before we shot, we were right here. So now we're just a little high, and like I said, I'm going a little fast on this, you guys, because seriously, my hands are frozen. Having been outside for 10 hours in single digits, snow all over it, all that kind of stuff. But if I took this shot after 10 hours, that's a dead deer at 30 yards. All in all, I would take that shot given the conditions all day, every day. All right, everybody, what'd you think? Please let me know down below in the comments. I thought this was awesome. The fact that it shot basically the same at 30 yards after 10 hours out in those conditions, I think is just phenomenal. And I think this maybe, throws a little bit of a wrench into the claims that we see online of composite rail crossbows having accuracy issues in cold weather. And I say a little bit because I completely understand this is one data point. This is one test on one particular model of crossbow where other manufacturers, other models could use different composites for the rail, could use different materials for strings and cables, even limb composition. There's a lot of variables that could affect accuracy in colder weather. And I totally get that there might be models out there that are in fact impacted in cold weather when it comes to accuracy. But what I can say with confidence is that the Killer Instinct Vital X 405 is not impacted by cold weather. And I say essentially because you guys, you got to give me a little bit of margin for error too. One, I was freezing my butt off out there, you know, filming this and getting this shot, you know, executed for you guys. Two, this crossbow is set up for my son, and we've got this small digital unit on it. So I'm looking at a small screen. I didn't zoom in or anything like that at all. I took the shot relatively quickly on something that I'm just not used to shooting that much. So there's definitely some margin for error on my part executing that shot. But we simulated, I think, this hunting scenario exactly how I would simulate a real hunting scenario, in that, you know, we've had this crossbow sighted in for a while. I verified it at room temperature like I do frequently throughout the season, just to make sure everything's working, everything's sighted in. And then, you know, we took it on a simulated all-day hunt in conditions that were beyond what I would hunt in, exposed, you know, in elements like that were out there. I would have 100% been in an enclosed blind, and I probably wouldn't have made it that long. So I think we did a good job. I'm impressed, and I have been with this crossbow for a while, but the fact that it performed the way it did in the weather that it did for the time that it did, I think it's pretty awesome. And if you guys are looking for some more crossbow content, specifically a review that I did on the Killer Instinct Vital X 405 when I very first got it, go ahead, check out this video right here. And thank you guys for tuning into this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please, as always, do me a favor, hit the like button down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys soon on the next video. Take care, God bless, and remember, be a sportsman, make a sportsman.